Okay, I wanted to talk about food in Korea a little bit and one experience I had with a particular type of food called haejanguk, which translates as pig spine soup. Um, I had heard about pig spine soup kind of right away when I first got to Korea. The other foreign teachers, it was one of their favorite things to eat. They were talking about it and it was kind of like, when are you gonna, get the courage up to try it? It's kind of expected as a foreigner, you gotta try this new crazy dish, it's delicious. And I don't know, I had just stopped being a vegetarian. I had given up vegetarianism for Korea because many reasons. I might get into that later, I'm not sure. But so I had given up being a vegetarian just like a few weeks ago. And now I was pretty scared that I'd have to be trying these strange animal parts. Um, so I didn't try it right away. There were a couple places in the city I lived in, Gwangju, that served pig spine soup, but I didn't try it for a little while. Eventually, I did have it, and this was during Chuseok vacation trip. Chuseok is like Korean Thanksgiving. It is their most important holiday in Korea, and I had a whole week off. So, including like Saturday and Sunday on both ends, that was like 9 days off, which was the largest break I would have. So, I'm like, gotta go to Seoul. So, I went to Seoul, had an amazing time for Chuseok in Seoul, and I stayed at this great hostel. It was a kind of small hostel. These two, Korean guys that ran it were super friendly, and they took me and a couple other foreigners, and said, we'll take you out to eat somewhere. One of our favorite places. Where do you want to go? And, I was like, oh, I don't know, whatever. And they suggested Haejanguk. And I knew what that was, but, I was thinking, they're offering to take us somewhere. Go for it. I'll try anything once. So we went to this tiny little Haejanguk place, sat on the mats. They had their, it's traditional Korean restaurant or whatever. And we order Haejanguk. And it arrives. And I knew what it would look like because I'd seen other foreigners eat it before. And it doesn't look that bad. You get this big bowl. And the pig spine, it's like you get about two vertebrae. And, there's all this meat around the vertebrae bone. You can tell it's a vertebrae bone. A vertebrae bone is very distinctive, I guess. Never really thought about it before, but you can tell what it is. And so you get these two vertebrae with meat kind of chunked all around and inside of it. And then you have also like some bean sprouts and kimchi in there. It's really hot and spicy. You might get some other strange vegetables as well in it. And you kind of just, you have to use a spoon and your chopsticks at the same time, which is a skill you gotta learn. So you kind of like eat some of the stuff out of it. I had some of the vegetables at first, and then I got to the spine and like I kind of held it down with the spoon. Some people take the vertebrae out of their bowl and put it on a plate for easier access with their chopsticks, but I kind of just held it in place with my spoon, got my metal chopsticks, and kind of just picked at it and got, a little piece of the spinal meat on my chopsticks. And yeah, and I ate it, and it was the most tender, amazing meat I had ever tasted in my entire life. This is insane. I was completely blown. I was so afraid to try this, and I wasn't so afraid, but I was a little reserved, And it turned out to be delicious. I loved it. I picked my vertebrae clean. And I'm not afraid to admit that. And Oh, it's so good. The meat is like it's like pink and it's really tender. And you kind of have to get in and around all the different curves with your chopsticks and you know, my chopstick skills weren't superb at that point, having just kind of moved to Korea. I mean, I had lived in Japan before for a little while. I might get into that later, but yeah, I mean, it's a little hard work eating it, but it is worth it, and it is amazing. And I don't know why I was so afraid. I was so glad I did it, and after that point, I had pig spine at least once a month. There was this tiny little restaurant, just kind of a couple blocks down where my apartment was in Korea, and me and some friends, we would always go there. They were open 24/7. It was these little old Korean ladies, so cute. I don't know if they were happy to have foreigners in there because foreigners are loud and a little bit messy. Not to stereotype, but I mean, come on, we are a little bit loud and messy sometimes. So, we go there, maybe after a couple beers or some karaoke or whatever, and it hits the spot. I'm telling you, it hits the spot. And, it just goes to show you, try everything once. Now that I've done that, I pretty much after that try everything once. It's worth it. You never know if it's going to be good or bad until you taste it. So there you go. Pig spine soup. Give it a try.